All right, Gustavo and Franklin are finally free. We find out who is behind the shootings. And with the conversation between Sissy and Veronique, do you really think we can trust Veronique? Well, we're going to talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. For my Snowfall recap, Season 5, Episode 6, titled The Iliad Part 2. Franklin and Gustavo look for an escape. Teddy is forced to put his trust in an old friend. The man behind the hits is revealed. And guys, I just want to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. I'm going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out. As if you've already seen it, you have been warned. So guys, let me know down in the comment section below. Subscribe and give me the thumbs up as well if you like the video, or what you're thinking about this latest episode of Snowfall. Episode 6, does it get you excited or are you disappointed? Now, when I talked about episode 5, I did enjoy the episode. I was saying, man, for the whole time I was at the edge of my seat. How do you have this CIA agent Teddy and also Franklin and Gustavo at the top of the food chain respectively, but just have some random street thugs come and just shoot the hell out of them and cripple them to where Franklin and Gustavo end up in a tiger cage? So I liked the episode, but I was really disappointed at the end, thinking that this was just a bit filler, that they could have came up with something a bit more interesting. Maybe they ran out of an idea. Now, I will go ahead and say there was a few people in my comment section and other videos that I watched saying that in this town in Los Angeles around the 80s, there were a lot of wild animals that were let loose or something like that, I believe. If I'm misquoting or missaying, please let me know respectfully in the comment section. And I can kind of respect that nod right there. And I will say, while I was a bit turned off at the end of episode 5, I do like the way they wrapped everything up in episode 6. They did not spend too much time with this tiger cage, with this crazy man, with these tranquilizer darts shooting people and stuffing animals and possibly people. You know, Gustavo and Franklin got out of there pretty quick. You know, they were kidnapped again by those other Mexican thugs, those other Mexican gentlemen, or what even is. It's kind of weird to just call them gentlemen, saying that they was going to rob our heroes for no damn reason other than their greed. But I like the way that Franklin and Gustavo got out of there. The way Gustavo used that belt was very clever. He just looked around and was like, okay, we got to get out of here. We don't want to die. We don't want to be eaten alive. Let me just look around, study my environment to get out of this situation. And it was very clever. I mean, I don't know if I would have thought about that. The old man was like, oh, I guess you want me to go in there so you guys can rush me. But no, he outsmarted him. And that tiger bit that man's leg off. That's what he get, because he's crazy as hell. You're going to feed these human beings to a tiger? I mean, they did break into your house, but that's no reason to sick a tiger on them. You need some help, sir, but it doesn't look like you're going to get it. It looks like you're going to hell because you passed out and you died up there from blood loss, from shock, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I think of that I hope is painful for you because you are crazy as hell. But they got out of there, and I was like, wow, okay, we can get back to the club and we can figure out who exactly was responsible for this hit, because at this point in time I had no idea. And they was in that cage for at least I don't know how long, maybe, I don't think it was a day, because well, later on when we was talking to Ted, he was like, I think it's been like 2 days or something like that, because I was at first gonna say that they only been in there in a couple of hours, but I'm trying to think how long they was in there, because when they first went to the house, you know, it was still daytime, so they could have spent, I don't know, it could have been 24 hours, it could have just been 3 or 4 hours. If y'all know, let me know in the comment section. I'm just a little bit thrown off from what Teddy said at the end when he was talking to Clarissa, and we definitely got to talk about that. But unfortunately, Franklin and Gustavo are kidnapped, and they cannot just get away. They cannot catch a break. I'm just like, man, this is just so unfortunate. Now, do y'all really feel like the Iliad Part 2, it was necessary to tell this over 2 episodes, or do you think that they could have just wrapped up this whole thing in 1 episode? To be honest with you, I think they could have wrapped it up in 1 episode. They did not need to be chased by a Mexican gang. They did not need to be chased by a white, well, not chased, but locked up in a tiger cage. with the old crazy man. It was entertaining and it kept you at the edge of your seat, but to be honest with you, it was unnecessary. It was filler. Just like Leon and Jerome and Sissy and Veronique and Louis were shot, and they was able to regroup right afterwards in some form or way. The same thing could have happened to Gustavo and Franklin, but they were chased by Mexican gangs twice and locked in a tiger cage. I just don't think that it was that necessary, but at the same time, at least it was executed fine. I mean, I know a lot of other people did enjoy this a lot better than I did, so I don't know. I mean, it's subjective. Leon and Jerome, I love how they came in and just pistol whipped the hell out of them. And Gustavo, to me, he clearly wants to get out of the game. He was like, look, just tell them where the money is. I mean, he seems, I don't know. Y'all let me know. Do you think Gustavo is content with his life because he has this new woman and the kids that, she came later on. And when he was dropping them off at school earlier on in the season, he seemed very happy. I'm pretty sure he has a few $1 million stashed away already somewhere. I mean, of course he does. Why wouldn't he? And so I think he's just tired of living his life because he was just ready to give it a like, man, just tell him what the $3 million is. Nothing, he just seemed really unfazed, just the whole thing. He kept his cool the whole time, and Franklin was just on edge, but they got him back, Jerome and Leon came and saved the day. That's great. They're just so tired, beat up, when they find Franklin, like, are you okay? No, I'm not. Leaves that dude in the trunk. I'm laughing. Even when they went to go get the $3 million, Gustavo and Franklin are on the back seat. They didn't tell Jerome and Leon that, hey, it's under the house. There's a little cubbyhole tunnel over there on the right-hand side at the bottom left corner. They was back there, and I like the conversation that Gustavo and Franklin was having amongst each other. Just, Gustavo was like, hey, I didn't think that you was going to come back. I just don't trust people. Franklin's like, I don't trust you either. The way that you and Teddy was spying on me during that first drop, they really bonded during this whole 2 episodes right here. I mean, they already had somewhat of a relationship because at the very beginning of the show, Gustavo was a wrestler and Franklin got his autograph. But then Gustavo saved Franklin at one time when he went over the Hispanics house in that neighborhood trying to sample off his product, and so they already had some rapport. But this right here, they almost died together in multiple ways than one. Franklin actually came back and saved Gustavo because he could have left him because he didn't have to come back. He really didn't. And that's just really nice that, Franklin did that. You don't need to be pissing off your coworkers and your colleagues and all that because they can stab you in the back. Because right now that we think that Peaches did it. And do y'all really think that Peaches did it? Do y'all really think so? I mean, I'm on the fence because in the episode, Franklin was like, look, to be sure, 2 people know where this location was when he was hiding the money, the stash or the safe house or whatever. Franklin and Peaches, because we did see that one time where Peaches didn't know what it is. Now, help me out with this, guys. Franklin, during that scene, he told Jerome that it was nearly $5 million in that stash house. When we saw that stash house early in the season, it was stacked from floor to ceiling with bills. That was $5 million, but they only had $3 million that was in the bags and the satchels when they were trying to make the drop. I mean, I don't know. They must have had all 100s in that bag and all $1 bills in the stash house. Maybe, and it's the 80s too. You just can't clean money like that. And so I'm just guessing. I just kind of thought about that. I'm like, man, y'all need to shrink this money for real, because that's just too many bills. But it's gone now. And so I wonder if it was Peaches or not, but we got to see. Now, I just want to go back to the interrogation/torture. I was like, this dude is weak as hell. He put on the gloves. He seemed like he was more out of shape punching Franklin and Gustavo from them taking the blows. Y'all let me know what you think down below in the comment section. That was just kind of fascinating to me. But let's talk about Veronique right now. Can we trust Veronique? So towards the end of the episode, she runs out on Franklin. She leaves. And she says, they meet at the ultrasound. There's a baby in there with the heartbeats. And, she's like, hey, I got to protect my seed. Franklin's like, of course, but you could have communicated without saying anything. My thing is this, Veronique, you knew what type of life he was in the beginning. It's not like he was male and you kind of just found out along the way. Maybe that was a bad example, but you knew this life. You knew that he was messing with the CIA. I mean, that they're smuggling drugs into the country. I mean, come on now. You know that it's going to be some mess here and there. And just going back a little bit, I like the conversation that Cece was having with Veronique, talking about, look, I love my son and I'm going to do everything I have to do to protect him. But whether it's another gangster or the government, this is going to happen again. And she just walked away. And I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back, because Veronique was like, you know what, maybe I bit off two more than I can chew. And she bounced. But let's even talk about the conversation way before that right there. When she was like, you know, hey, I'm a con artist. My mama raised me as a con artist. When her father died, took her to the carnival. Her mama taught her how to, you know, scam all the scammers with the ring toss. And it was fun. And they liked that feeling. And she just kept it going. This woman said that she can falsify documents in French and in English. I mean, she's an expert. You know what I'm saying? Carmen Sandiego. She the one that's going to have the last laugh. Unfortunately, I hope not. What do y'all think is going to happen? Because I'm thinking, and I was hearing Lamont and them talk about this as well, like shout out Lamont and shout out Moochie. But that was like, you know, Franklin, you coming in the last episode and hearing her talking on the phone, making these calls, making these deals. Can you actually confirm that she is talking to somebody? I mean, she is probably, yeah, she admitted it. It's not any speculation. She admitted she's a professional con artist. And I bet Sissy, mamas always know best. Mamas always know best. Mamas always right when it comes to these things. And women know women. So Sissy, old school too. Sissy, game recognized game. Veronique gonna slip up with a syllable, with the inflection in her voice somewhere, with a twitch in her shoulder, her eye, something, and give something away. And Sissy gonna come through. Franklin, she ain't no good. She for the streets. Get her out of here. She's an agent. She's this. She's that. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. I just don't trust Veronique. I don't. And Sissy was giving her compliments too. Like, girl, you did well with the police when they was harassing us. You took the guns. You're doing waterworks and all this. And she's like, yeah, you know. Now, one of the most entertaining things to me is Jerome whooping that ass. God dog, I ain't seen nobody get their ass whooped like that in quite some time. Damn. And why they gotta keep disrespecting Louis? Y'all, I mean, these are respectively, the people at the top of the throne, the top of the mountain in the drug game, pushing this crack rock. But nobody thinks so, because they just talking to Louis and Jerome any type of way. All right, so what about the drop? Did you hear what she said? Yeah, I said all right, and what about the drop? Jerome ain't playing, man. How about you get the drop when I tell you about the motherfucking drop? Talk shit, bam, bam, he'll get his ass beat. I love how Louis pulled that gun out quick, that pistol, like, hey, back up now, or I will shoot your ass while your friend over there getting his face beat into the concrete. I mean, Jerome, I think I counted, he hit him 13 or 14 times. He almost broke his hands. It was funny, too. He was driving up talking shit like, yeah, teach your brother how to squab, nigga. You better go on the trigger, nigga. Probably got some hair after that. I love you, baby. You beat his ass. That would be nice. I don't know what y'all think, but man, he got his ass whooped, but he deserved it. He deserved it. And let's talk about Ivy. I like Ivy. Ivy is cool. Ivy is a G. I really do like Ivy. And he was just putting Franklin on game, just talking about, hey, man, I'm a soldier. I go from battle to battle, but you can do anything. I like the conversation. I like the bond between them. And I'm really surprised that Ivy is not more upset that he lost a guy. We're going to see how that works. Because he has every right to be pissed about that. He has every right to be pissed that Leon didn't want to buy them bazookas. Come on, ain't no receipts on this, bro. You know how difficult this is to get? This is a specialty item. Like, come on, like, where do you get bazookas from? You know what I'm saying? Ivy's that dude. So, you know, you getting him caught up, you making him lose a man. Yeah, I like Ivy. I want Ivy to make it to the end. Y'all let me know what you think about Ivy too, because Ivy's a G. Now we got to talk about Freaky Clarissa. Man, this chick here has dreams of a man going down on her after she knocked out his teeth. She's masturbating while Teddy is bleeding over there. She wants Teddy, obviously. She climbs on top of him and kisses him like, man, I've been wanting to do this since this time. But you was married and in love. And she just gets a high off of this rush of helping people in deadly situations. She now wants $500,000. You know, that's nothing for Teddy. But even though Clarissa is weird to me, I think that Teddy can trust her. I don't think she's gonna screw him over. What do y'all think? She's a bit weird with the blood and the sex and stuff, but At least she did patch your boy up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he did break into her house, bleed on her floor, like, hey, I'm intruding, fix me. You know, so I'm not mad at her. She don't gotta just be extra nice to him. He probably did her wrong dirty. I don't know. We'll see. But so far she seems cool. But guys, we gotta get to the end now. Kane, Black and Diamond are the ones that figured it out. You know, they was like, it's not us. You know, we good. You know, we loyal. We don't know where Peaches is, but we heard it's this dude named Kane. And they walked up, and Kane is apparently important. He been out of jail for a few months now, and he is the older brother of Kevin from season 2 that died. And looking at his side of things, I wish he would have did what Franklin said. Like, hey, if you had a problem, you could have just talked to us. But this man was like, his cousin Delroy was stabbed, slinger for him. And we all remember that. That's what pissed Kevin off. And then, you know, he shot Kevin. He don't know the details of why he shot Kevin. He was in jail, you know. And I mean, it just sucks because, you know, Leon was like, we can understand, you know, we did shoot your brother. You don't know the details. He thinks that he snitched to get out. Leon was like, hey, we're just trying to make this right, you know. And he stood his ground, Kane did. He's like, yeah, you can get me at any time, but is it like I'm running, nigga? I'm right here. All right, team, let's go get it again, little guy. Woo! He talking about the little pee-wee football. But I'm like, yeah, man, he said when Delroy was stabbed, he was in solitary confinement and they would not let him to the funeral. But when he found out that Franklin shot Kev, he was like, no, I don't even want to go because I'm going to do something crazy and it's just going to make things worse. And I was like, well, damn, that's real right there. And so hopefully they work it out with Kevin. I don't know where the season is going to go, but this is a good way to wrap things up. I like how they circle things back around. I don't think that we've ever seen Kane before. If we have, you know, please let me know in the comment section. But they're taking things all the way back to season 1 to season 2. You know, is Mel gonna come back as well? I like that. So good job, writing team. Good job. We got 4 episodes left, and hopefully we finish this season off with a bang. You know. So y'all guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And you guys let me know what you think down below as well in the comment section. Spoiler away, I would love to hear from all you guys. And guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.